Hello, welcome back to Bandosushi Live Modding. In this episode, we're gonna take another look, just like another review of Grease Pencil, and this particular node is a vector lerp. You probably have seen one of my video working on this, but not in a way that's now that now that we are able to access Grease Pencil data a little bit better inside Sverchok. I think we can take advantage of this vector lerp and vector evaluate. So yeah, let's get started. Let's start from fresh scene, and let's switch just to the top view, compositing, top view, and let's save this real quick. Sverchok Grease Pencil lerp. Let's just draw like two strokes. Once we just gonna do like a single stroke per frame. We're not gonna be doing like anything too crazy yet. So I draw one stroke on frame 0, I think, another stroke somewhere there, and another one here, and now we have 3 strokes. And let's have the ability to see the skinning, onion skin, maybe 10 frame before, 10 frame after. I think it should be showing, but anyway, let's switch to Sverchok and grab our 3 strokes. Select object ID selector, get the Grease Pencil. So we have this pick frame, get a 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 frames, and we're gonna pass the points for Sverchok. Get the first one, second, and third one. And let's do a quick resampling. I'm gonna display the points first. So by default, it looks like that, you know, it's pretty dense and random. Vector interpolation will interpolate and resample our stroke. 0 to 1 count. Yeah, let's just work with 12 points. Actually, just make it 10 points for now. So the cool thing about this setup is that we can access any strokes from any frame within the same frame. Normally you can't do that. You need to kind of scrub and then to get to the certain strokes, but with this setup we can access any of the line strokes anytime. Okay, let's make the duplicate of this and another one. This one goes there. So each of the strokes will be resampled, so we can get to this guy and then this guy and this guy. So 3 strokes. Let's test it with 2 strokes first. Just use vector lerp. Lerp stands for linear interpolations. We actually have these 2 functions. I'll show you what's the difference. So we have, with evaluate, we can actually, if we use like a range float for the in-between, we get that kind of result with a vector lerp evaluate. So you can have more it's kind of like a duplicating the in-between for each and every point. The idea is here you can actually loft it somehow, maybe not right away, maybe you need to make some changes, because if I just do it, we end up with this kind of pattern. I think there's a way to flip this or something to make sure it's properly lofted. but we're not gonna do that. We just want to see the points. So that's with evaluate, but what we're gonna use here is a LERP, linear interpolations, and we're not gonna be doing it this way. We're just gonna LERP from one point to another point. So that way you kind of get like interpolations of the strokes. You can use UV connection in here and switch it to edges, and now we should have the strokes kind of animating from original position and then this next position, and then we want to do it for the next another one. So we can use another vector LERP. Plug this result in there and then this guy there. So it's almost like a kind of like a shape keys. So supposedly we can create like a chaining of the nodes. So it's doing this 0 to 1 and then 0 to 1. And if you like, you can simply use things like polyline viewer. Plug this guy like that. Okay, probably increase the radius. Turn off close, and we have a proper line there, and we can animate it. 0 to 1, 0 to 1. So yeah, so really this is a pretty basic, but I think this can be, I think we can work with this with these basic concepts in the next live noding. So yeah, that's just a revisit to the vector LERP. The cool thing is that we can continue doing this and changing the strokes, for example, and then everything will update accordingly. If we want to add another stroke, for example, top view, do it like that. Just copy this 1, 2, 3 and duplicate it. Get frame number 4. If we can update it. There we go. I have another vector LERP. Plug that in. This one goes in there to make the edges, and we have that interpolation. So that will work pretty well if we have just a single strokes. With multiple strokes, it might be a little bit more complicated, or just we need to approach it differently. But this will work if you're probably the application of this. Maybe if you're kind of animating maybe like a tail of a character, maybe this can be used. I don't know, that's just one idea, but I think this has potential. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this live noding. It's just a simple review of the old nodes that's now this vector LERP. Now that we have access to Grease Pencil, and then also we have this polyline viewer, we can generate things like this pretty easily. Okay, so yeah, if you have any question, just let me know in the comment section below. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.